Welcome to the breakdown. I am Delacremedela, your privileged host. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome. Before we get started today, let me just let you know what we're here for. Today, we are going to continue watching the Village of Dolton regular board meetings. We have been working to catch up on all the lives. We started off together watching the meeting since June. We started off, first of all, trying to see if we could find any kind of support to help us understand who may be the unnamed trustee. That's how we started, right? We figured that part out. We figured out it was Andrew Holmes. We figured out by some body language. Then we continued to watch these meetings because we realized that for a long, long time, Tiffany Henyard and her administration were lying about the deficit in Dolton. Then we continued to watch these meetings after we unraveled those lies and found out that they had also been lying about the credit cards. Then the taxes. Well, tonight, I think we're going to unravel the lie about the repossessions. So we're going to watch the Village of Dolton board meeting from March 5th, 2024. Just to keep on top of this stuff and be ready for this regular board meeting that's going to take place tomorrow, hopefully along with an arrest. And then from there on, we'll get back on track and just be breaking down those regular board meetings as long as any other news that comes our way, as it relates to taking down Tiffany Henyard, basically, and her entire administration. So let me give you a couple house rules for the breakdown. House rule number one, as you know, this is not a no judgment zone. This ain't a place you can come and be safe in your bullshit. Because if you twitch, bitch, we gonna call it out. Somebody asked yesterday while we were taking a look at the most recent Village of Dolton meeting we looked at together. I think it was February 2024. Somebody was like, who's the horrible camera person? And I was like, that's me. I be zooming in and shit. I be looking at people's hands. I want to see if their lips twitch, if it's a pulse moving in their neck when somebody says something. Oh, I look at everything. So it ain't the Village of Dolton camera person. Shout outs to whoever that is. It's me. I be moving all around the room. I want to see everything. Do you understand? House rule number two. This is not for children. I'm not the person you probably want to put in front of your child in the way that I address this situation. I use very, very adult language, so it may not be appropriate for your children to be in the room, and that might account for some adults too, because there's some sensitive eared motherfuckers out there. House rule number three, since this is a sensitive topic, talking about a black woman in power, then I will ask that you be very careful. If you can't finish this, Fair East Side. If you can't even hum what's supposed to come next, then it's probably best that you be very careful about the slurs that you use in talking about black people in this moment. Just stick to the political conversation. Stick to the business conversation. You might want to stay out of the racial slur department on this one if you're not black. If you have no affinity to Bill Cosby whatsoever, and it was not hard for you to accept that Andrew Holmes and Bill Cosby are the same person, Jesus! Then be careful how you talk. So we are going to begin this meeting. You see that we have the timestamp at 4:55. The reason why I have it at 4:55 is because the meeting actually starts a little early today, y'all. Hey! The meeting actually begins at 5 minutes and 10 seconds, which, as we know, I would speculate that that means that that delay is on purpose. But shout outs to whoever got this shit together 15 minutes earlier than normal. But the games these people play should tell you that we were only gathered together a little early for some bullshit. Okay? Now, this meeting is in its entirety only an hour and 59 minutes and 31 seconds. So I shouldn't have to keep you here long, but let's continue. So we'll see that right now we're at 5 minutes, and the what you see is going to change at 5 minutes and 10 seconds on the dot, which means it's a planned delay. Do you hear anything? Nope. I mean, we got $17,000 skates and $90,000 Jerry curl caps / bubbles / igloos at the ice skating rink. We got $150,000 Tahoes, multiples, but we can't get this sound together? And how long does it take to actually come in? Still no sound. And I posted the link to this meeting in the community tab the night this was live and was like, surprise, ? No sound, period. And you'll remember this was a meeting where Tiffany, when Trustee Tammy Brown was like, "There's no sound," Tiffany Henry was like, "Yes, it is." Bitch, how you know? And we see Trustee Belcher's picture still in front of her portrait. And we are at 6 minutes and 38 seconds and still no sound. And we see Tiffany has arranged all the rooms so that she's the center of attention. She's a fucking weirdo. We kind of heard something come up, right? It looks like we're beginning our not citizens address, public comment. It should be citizens address. And that police officer you see pop into the camera is an abuser. He goes throughout the crowd tormenting and intimidating people so they don't clap and shit, which isn't illegal. And the only reason I'm talking right now is because there's no sound. She see something's wrong. It's not the mic, because the mic is on. Now, what's crazy is by the time they get the sound together, Mama is on 11. So I'm going to go ahead and get us to that point. We're at 8 minutes and 45 seconds, and we violated the Open Meetings Act 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we are at 9 minutes and 38 seconds. Turn your volume down a little bit because it's going to be loud if you can't tell already.
My story through folk and with the pain and struggle is a testament of resilience and unwavering determination to fight for what is right, and let us stand united in the pursuit of justice, ensuring that our voices are heard and the struggles are acknowledged. And thank you for standing by me in this journey. Together, we will reclaim our city and pave the way for a brighter, more incredible future. Tiffany, you do not stand for my kid, and you do not stand for me. I helped you in this fight. You lied. You lied to us as residents. You do not stand for me. And I want you to step down as mayor today and save our village from this deficit that you have caused, because something is definitely wrong with you. And that mental illness bill that you want to pass, you need to get yourself checked.
Okay. All right, calm down.
Okay, so let me give you a little background so you can understand where her passion comes from. I didn't get a chance to write this note, so I'm going to go ahead and say this first. This lady, I want to call her a young lady because she looks young to me, but we're most likely about the same age. So this lady, she moved into the same neighborhood that Tiffany Henyard grew up in. They grew up across the street from each other. And she moved there 8 years before Tiffany Henyard's family moved there. So she knows that Tiffany Henyard didn't grew there, so to speak. She's personally upset and hurt about Tiffany Henyard having this fake cancer charity because she is personally battling with cancer. So for her to know somebody personally, and it gets even, her personal relationship with this woman gets even deeper than what I've shared with you so far. I'll go there. I'll let you know exactly why she feels the way she feels as well. But she was excited at first when she thought that Tiffany Henyard was gonna have a cancer charity because she's battling with cancer. And then to find out that this woman stole all this money and used cancer, something Tiffany Henyard's own mother battled with, was hurtful to her. Well, as well, Jason House recruited this lady to work on Tiffany Henyard's campaign when she ran for mayor. So she actually helped Tiffany Henyard become mayor, only to experience as a resident of Dolton what everyone in Dolton is experiencing. And so that's where her passion, I don't want anybody to write that off because she has a very personal relationship with this situation. When Tiffany Henyard was not allowing, or when she doesn't allow, because she still doesn't allow the village hall to be open. Right now, village hall is locked to everybody but employees. Well, when the people of Dolton are not able to have these meetings inside village hall, remember, Dolton's 5 square miles. I'm not sure exactly where village hall is located inside the village, but this woman had to walk to the meetings. Well, when they have to have their meetings at the park district, she has to actually go further out of her way. If you saw the meeting that I posted on this channel from, it was a special meeting from the village of Dolton. She actually spoke at that meeting as well and told her story. And if I understand correctly, she also has a nonprofit. So, excuse me, all of that passion and all of that fervor and all of that energy is for a reason. It's unfortunate that because Tiffany Henyard is a sadist, she enjoys this more than she should.
Time is up. Next. Ladies and gentlemen.
So, in response to all of that anger, Lacey, why is he the one? Where's the clerk that keeps the time? Because it's supposed to be the clerk that keeps the time. But Lacey is telling her time is up. Lacey, you a bitch ass nigga. We see you. You are, man. I remember, man, the chief of Charlotte, Putney. I used to call him pussy ass Putney. Pussy ass Putney. That's you all day. Big ass head.
Not disrupt the meeting. If the meeting is disrupted, we will disperse the meeting.
Excuse me 1 second. Again, the sound is not working for the residents that are watching online.
The sound is working.
Well, they say it's not working.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
So let me just make reference to, if the meeting is disrupted, we will disperse the meeting. Based on what law? And what is disrupt? If the meeting is disrupt, I couldn't hear what was happening there. Now, there is another video that has been added to the breakdown playlist from someone who was actually there that night, who had their own cameras out and was showing what was happening. they weren't allowing people to clap. When I tell you the level of oppression, and it's something to me, I'm just going to go ahead and say it out loud. It is, you don't want black people to get to a point where we have to rise up. Because we work really hard to hold back our anger. Now, unfortunately, we don't necessarily organize well enough with that energy, but I think that's coming here. But you don't want black people to get to a point where we have to physically rise up. Once we get to that point, the cork is gone. I've been in that situation. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've lived through it. I got the war wounds to prove it. You don't want black folks to get mad and angry and rise up, because we understand deep down in our soul that there's only two things that an oppressor understands. See, we thought it was only white people, but you have to understand white is an attitude. That's another lesson for another teacher to teach. But that oppressive attitude only understands the loss of money and the loss of blood. So anyway, let's continue.
Okay, my name is Reed Harvey. I'm a longtime resident since 1986. My question is, what was the financial status when Tiffany Henyard was elected? What has your administration done or accomplished to better that? Are you aware that the village administrator currently is in a bankruptcy proceeding? Something like this does not happen overnight. 1 Timothy 5:8 says, "But if any provide not for his own is what he has authority, influence over, which is as the village administrator, and especially for those of his own house. He hath denied the faith, because he calls himself a man of God, and is worse than an infidel." Worse than an infidel. There was a meeting maybe 2 weeks ago, the secret squirrel meeting. Well, maybe tonight we're going to have the city girl meeting. But essentially, one other thing that I might just point out, and I didn't have time, shame on me for not researching it enough, but there was something called the Shackman Decree. And so I'm querying that perhaps the board might consider whether or not there can be some kind of home ruling so that the political patronage and hiring people that are cronies, that walk on eggshells and can't really do and discharge their duties for fear of recrimination, fear of losing their job, or perhaps even personal attack. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. He said a lot, and I'm not going to reiterate everything he said, but you heard him ask the questions, and because this is not citizens address, it's public comment, he won't receive an answer ever, but he asked what was the financial status when Tiffany Henry became mayor. As we know, there was a surplus. He mentioned something very important at the end, the Shackman decrees. I did go ahead and post those decrees on the community tab, but that was quite a while ago. That probably was just right after this meeting in March while I was on vacation. Ooh. Y'all, let me tell you something crazy. I actually just unpacked my clothes and my shoes and my handbags from my last vacation. They were still in the suitcase. And when I tell you, those clothes hadn't even been worn on the vacation. They were just unpacked, put in the closet, put together so they were ready. You know, I overpack like everybody. When I tell you those clothes still had that Carnival cruise ship energy on them, and it was good. And some of those clothes still smelled like the ship. You know, that special ship air freshener. Oh, I just basked as I unpacked and just, oh, I'm counting the days to the next one. Anyway, thanks for letting me go back down that road of memory lane. Now he talked about Keith Freeman's bankruptcy. Y'all, Keith Freeman don't like his kids. He don't give a fuck if he can't provide for them. He let him tell it. He got a job so he didn't have to be at home with them. He don't like his kids. And I already pointed out that he's most likely impotent, so there's nothing to lose there. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing I love. I love black fathers. I love black dads. Especially, you can tell when a black dad, I'm pretty sure Mr. Reed Harvey has a daughter. And for those of us black girls who are blessed in our community to have our dads, especially through adulthood, from childhood, you know that your daddy's biggest foe, the one thing your daddy couldn't stand, hated, and wanted to make sure you never became, was that whole image of a city girl, whatever that is. My daddy just called them hoes. That's what my daddy called them, hoes. They didn't have no names back when I was coming up. Hoochies, hoes, tramps, yamps, scamps. I mean, that's what they were called. And that whole idea. Oh, happy Easter, y'all. I just got a happy Easter text. Happy Oshun's Day. Happy Day of Isis. My loves, my sisters. Anyway, this man despises this ghetto fabulous west side of Chicago back in the day, not today, back in the day, prior to the gentrification. He despises it. The stereotypical black woman that what all the words that actual justice warrior used, welfare queen, what other words did you use, actual justice warrior, to talk about her? You called her a lot of names. I forgot a lot of them. All the stereotypical black things. Black dads hate. And they raise us, girls, to also despise that image of black women. We work very hard throughout the world as black women, especially black American women. I got so many sisters all over the world who work to overcome this image. This city girl image. Hold on, what's she saying? Oh, good girl. Congratulations. Anyway, shout out to you, Katie. I think my friend Katie just sent me some good news. Katie, me and Katie actually did a show together when we had to talk about P. Diddy and Cassie. She just texted me with some good news. Good girl. So anyway, yeah, I just noticed that the way he was like, okay, so maybe this is gonna be the city girl meeting. I heard it. I heard that black dad who raises his daughter, or who raised his daughter or daughters to have a certain way that they carry themselves and present themselves to the world. I love it. I love it. Let me see if there's anything else I have. I can't read my notes. I can't read the rest of my notes, so let's continue.
Good evening, residents, Edward Steve, Mayor, Board of Trustees, Department Heads. It's been real hectic in the village of Dolton media-wise. I want to start off by saying self-accountability is a bad thing in this administration. The mayor can blame everybody for what's going on, but she has to look at herself. Nobody told her to get on TV and lie like that. Blatant lies. Did you spend this on a credit card? No, sir. I don't know where they got that from. That's unexcusable. These are easily verifiable lies. That's unacceptable. That immediate attention didn't kick up until them lies came out on WGN. Nobody was really paying attention for checking for Dolton like that until then. Also, the financial reports. Who's the finance chair? Stan Brown. Does Stan know anything about the finances? Can he answer any questions? The trustees don't have the credit card receipts, the mayor's village reports, the financial reports. The stand have it because the rest of the trustees don't have it. And she's going to say everybody's lying. They do have it. The attorney general is asking for credit card receipts. I guess the attorney general was lying too. So this is where we're at in the village. It's self-accountability, and the mayor can blame everybody. I know she wants to say I'm a black woman, and it's because I'm a woman. You know how many women that she's affecting? Look at what she did to Dr. Scott down the street. She won't even let her open up. Look how she talks to the other black women up here. These are all single mothers, just like her. Look how she talks to them. Look how she talks to the clerk who's old enough to be her mother. Look how disrespectful she is. If y'all can't see that, a lot of y'all do see that. I just don't refuse to see it. She's so disrespectful. And she told Brittany, don't say nothing else. I don't want to hear from you no more. How do you talk to an adult like that who's elected? Everybody that works for her know how disrespectful she is. So department heads, be careful. Like Chief lied last time and got caught up. The cars were about to get repoed. Oh, that's handled, Trustee House, when it clearly wasn't handled. So when you be careful, there's life after this girl, and you have to move on. And if you're on camera lying for her because she told you to lie, believe me, it's all recorded. Everything's recorded. And be careful not to lie on stuff that can easily be proven that you lied. The chief said it was handled. It wasn't handled. They almost repossessed the cars. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. So, trustees, residents, keep watching Dolton Trustee YouTube page. We're going to keep putting this madness out here because it got to stop. It got to stop. And again, nobody was checking for this until the mayor got on TV and lied right through the camera. Smooth, without a bite in the eye. That is dangerous when you can lie like that easily. Or stuff that you know can be verified is true. So thank y'all so much. Trustees, keep fighting. Keep holding this administration accountable. Keep fighting for transparency. And don't let her bankrupt this town and then blame it on y'all. And Trustee Belcher,
Time is up, sir.
Please put our picture back up.
Time is up, sir.
I love Ed Steve. I really do. I've been watching his interactions with Tiffany Henyard since the beginning because they were trustees together, and then he was a trustee when she became mayor. And it's been interesting since the beginning. This is former trustee Ed Steve, who many of you know, who most likely will be a trustee again. Hopefully he takes that spot when Andrew Holmes goes to jail instead of DeMarcus or Stacy, because I'm sure they're being primed and prepped to run for trustee. Let me go over just a couple things. Did you notice that Tanjanique got up and walked out when Ed Steve got up to speak? That wasn't by accident. That woman is a smooth liar. When I tell you she has told some lies, I know that amongst this administration, there is absolutely no trust. They don't trust each other. They don't share their lives with each other. They don't have like a real, teamwork mentality. They probably do a lot of blame shifting. They probably do a lot of alliance operating type bullshit. Now, Ed Steve actually sued the village for $50,000 because I think Tiffany Henyard got him fired. O'Shea Duke Jackson did a really good video breaking that down. It's in the breakdown playlist as well. Ed Steve was the one who actually shed light on the fact that Stan Brown can't read. He was the one that let us know Stan Brown was a postman. And in the most respectful way, he just showed the video. That video from the Dolton Trustees is the one where Ed Steve interviewed Jason House. That's also in the breakdown playlist, and you can also find that on the Dolton Trustees YouTube channel. And I think I did a quick short from their video actually with that clip from Stan Brown. And I'm wondering, Ed Steve, because I know the Dolton Trustees come in and watch these videos and help us understand things more clearly through the live chat. Will you be interviewing Stan Brown and Andrew Holmes as you interview the trustees? That'll be interesting.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm going to say it this last time. You cannot disrupt the meeting. Hold your claps, hold your statements, hold your comments. If you got something you want to say, step up to the podium, but you cannot disrupt the meeting. The next time that happens, I am going to clear the room.
He's literally talking about people clapping.
All right, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Board of Trustees, residents for the Village of Dolton. I'm Valerie Stubbs, former trustee for the Village of Dolton. 23-year resident. Been in politics all my adult life. I'm 65 and I've been in politics ever since I was 18. It was a statement made by Keith Freeman that the Village of Trustees would not vote on to take a bond out for Homewood disposable. Well, for $1.4 million. Correct me if I'm wrong. The residents pay over $2 million every year for Homewood disposable that's included in their water bill. So I wanted to know why in the world would you want to take out a bond that the residents have to pay along with the interest, notwithstanding after you pay the 1.4 million, you have $600,000 to the good.
Mm-hmm.
It was also stated, and that gentleman said it best, that Mr. Keith Freeman, if you can't take care of the business of your own house and pay your bills, and this is public information, and you have to file bankruptcy, and you do not include both of your salaries, the one from Dolton Township. I don't know what your position there is because I have FOIA and my FOIAs don't get answered. And also the village administrator. I've asked, are you a village administrator, 1099 or with benefits, or are you just a plain 1099? So today I'm asking that you either step down or the trustees for the Village of Dolton that voted you in to vote you out because you are no good for the residents of this community. Also, I want to ask the question again. I asked it the last meeting, but the mic was cut off. Why is Trustee Belcher's picture sitting there as opposed to being on the wall with everybody else? It don't make any difference whether or not, Mayor, you like an individual or not. This is business. This is not about liking or disliking. This is about the business of the people from the Village of Dolton.
Ma'am, your time is up. All right, now.
I haven't been keeping track of time. That's too many things for me to handle at once. I am not a multitasker. I gave that up in the early 2000s. So Miss Valerie Stubbs did a great job of introducing herself. And she talked about that $1.4 million bond at 6%. That we had talked about in previous meetings. Now, Keith Freeman, if people keep asking you to step down, I mean, if you're that hot of shit that Tiffany's first attorney who bought her job by donating to Tiffany's campaign, if Tiffany's, and then I think her name was Sean Raines, and then she later quit. But while she was the attorney there, she called Keith and asked him to come and be the administrator. So if you're that hot of shit, then you could go somewhere else where people actually like you. Now, let's remember that Keith Freeman was hired contingent background check. That still hasn't happened yet. Let's continue.
First of all, good evening everybody, to give me the chance to become in Dolton Village Hall to be talk, and whatever I will talk is nothing but truth. I've been in this village been 10 years, Miss Mayor. I never have any problem to be disrespectful to my business, disrespectful to my neighborhood. I've been in this town been 10 years, and the way I have revoked my license I've been paying my tax good. If I made a mistake, you have a chance to give me the chance to be, I can create my any mistake what I made it. I will try my best to be whatever the violation I have giving on my paper is nothing but the lie. They say every time we have 15 to 20 police car come over there and helping us, that's not good. They never help us like that, and we never expecting. The last time what they give me ticket for $750 to be two girls argument of outside of my establishment, and this is the reason I have to revoke my license. I paying every month $8,000 rent. I have only one child, which one I'm taking care of it right now. I'm taking care of the another kids. I run more than 23 family house in Dalton. You're ruining your own people end of the day. And everybody get hurt. Is a small people is very important. Everybody run the life just because of the they having getting good pay from the good establishment. If the good establishment, good business not gonna come in the Dalton, how the Dalton gonna survive? That's all I wanna talk. I just wanna be a fair justice, and I'm not trying to lose revoke my license. I work hard for my money. And you really work hard for your money, and when you have to lose for no reason, it's hurt. It's nothing but hurt. Thank you guys.
All right, next.
Oh, Jesus, she's so dry. Like a horrible fuck. This is the guy you guys were asking about in the chat when we watched the last meeting. It's easy to get him confused. He's kind of interchangeable with the other guy who came up in the last meeting. But so these are two different guys. I try to identify them by their hair. This man wears a man bun, and he usually comes up with somebody else who is his security. He is the owner of Rinky's, which was shut down after the news story came out about the FBI being in Dalton. And Dane Placco came to him to do an interview about it. Here's the funny thing. So let me tell you what the sequence of events was, and then we'll talk about how dumb Tiffany Henry is. So the FBI let the news know. I think it was WGN, Fox 32 Chicago. I think that's the same news company. I'm not sure. Forgive me if it's not. The FBI let the news know that they were in Dalton. So the news company, I'm gonna say it was WGN. I'm just gonna say Dane Placco because that's who it was. I think he's with Fox actually. Forgive me. But Dane Placco goes to Dalton, interviews all these different businesses, right? 2 hours later, interviews all these different businesses. They put out their story, which doesn't include Rinky's and a whole bunch of other places. 2 hours after the news story hit the air, Deputy Chief Lacey issues, and I know it was him because I saw the business closure documents and he signed them, DC Lacey. Deputy Chief Lacey issues a whole bunch of closures to all these businesses. Now, Tiffany Henry chose to use the time of her podcast to defend why she closed these businesses, but what she doesn't realize is Dane Placco never even used those companies in his story. So her revenge was for absolutely nothing. Because Rinky's wasn't even included in Dane Placco's story about the FBI investigation. Rinky's didn't even become a part of the news until Deputy Chief Lacey closed them down. So it's not by accident. And Trustee Tammy Brown said it very clearly. It's not by accident that Dane Placco comes out. 2 hours later, the story comes out, and then within hours, Deputy Chief Lacey shuts those businesses down, even though they weren't included in the story, because somebody was outside. You know, Dalton is only 5 square miles. They got 45 officers. And they just added this new tactile team that we keep seeing. Those are the ones that we see with the glasses that you can't see through, the Beyonce glasses. Okay, so that's how dumb Tiffany Henry is that she didn't even realize she got revenge on businesses that weren't even featured in the story.
Greetings to the citizens, elected officials, and media especially. We need the media simply because there are strategic power outages at certain times throughout these proceedings, just like last week. And denials notwithstanding, we know that's a blatant lie. Secondly, I usually address most of my comments to the audience, but I'm going to talk to Tiffany Henyard and Keith Freeman. Keep my name out of your mouth, okay? Now, unless you want it back, because you will get it back. I'm just letting you know face to face. I'm not going behind your back. I'm telling it to your face. Please, we're not on a first name basis. Let's not pretend anymore, okay? We got that? I hope you got that. Next, I couldn't believe I looked at this agenda and saw the word secret squirrel on a freaking, on a professional agenda for a village. If you look on that first page, she has secret squirrel meeting on there. You know what made that necessary? 11 council meetings. There have been 11 meetings like this that have been canceled where the trustees get to get their agenda items on the agenda, and they have been unilaterally canceled by this secret squirrel administration. Because squirrels hide stuff. They bury stuff in the wintertime and hide that dirt. This is what is happening right now. So if you want to put secret squirrel on a freaking agenda, get some help. Secondly, City Hall, this City Hall that we pay for has been shut down 11 times in a row. That's why we have to have those other meetings. We can't even get access to our City Hall. Okay, think about that for a minute. Only because people want to hide their little secret squirrel agendas and then come back and rant and rave and insult people when they bring it up. That is absolutely pathetic. And I was wondering, is the Auditor General aware of what's going on here? If we can get something from get the Auditor General in here, because there is no way all of this paperwork has been, keeps staying hidden. The secret squirrel has buried it. So we need to deal with the secret squirrel's lack of transparency. This is what we got here. So we can sit up here and pretend this is an official proceeding, but there's another official proceeding that's supposed to happen every third week in the month. And it hasn't happened 11 times straight, and that is obviously intentional. So enough is enough, okay? If you're not going to be professional about it, you need to step down and leave us the hell alone.
He said, leave us the motherfuck alone. If you're not going to do the job, just leave us alone. Let us rebuild. Let us figure this out. Stop fucking with us. Mr. Dan Lee. He said something very important. He said, we need the media. It's been very important to me as we've gone throughout this work together as a breakdown crew that we understand how to dissect what we receive from the media, how to prioritize different messages, how to decipher them, how to know what is a primary source and a secondary source and even a tertiary source. And he's right. I mean, until the media, the news media, I'm not talking about the blogs like the Southland Journal or the Watchdogs or the other one that got it wrong about Andrew Holmes being arrested and totally discredited themselves, but probably not enough. Because, we like to say they have done some good work, but we're not going to hold them accountable to that waste of time and that bullshit. But anyway, it has been, the WGN and the Fox 32 and ABC News and Sky News Australia. It has been these news companies that we've seen get this story out. And even, when we talk about all the YouTubers, the Young Turks and O'Shea Duke Jackson and Nate the Lawyer and everybody, there's some big channels who are making some big risks every time they put a video out, that while they do have the benefit of garnering hundreds of thousands of views, that video might get taken down, or YouTube might demonetize their channel, or YouTube might decide that that video is not going to get monetized. So there are some big channels that are taking up space when they could be working on other things. They could be talking about other topics that are sure bets to make them money or whatever. This is a labor of love for a lot of media. I can tell by the way ABC News always uses the same 3 pictures. They can't stand Tiffany Henyard. They always use the same 3 pictures, and it's always the pictures. The ones with you know how Kaya got that wood paneling, those ones from before she spent all that money to have the buildings redone. But anyway, the media is necessary. I always be careful when people tell you to discount the media, because the media now is a big umbrella. It's not just the news and the newspaper. The media now is a lot of different sources. I mean, people come to YouTube to get news. People go to X to get news, And so it is very important that the media is involved in this. And I'm glad that many of us, I guess that would include me, have been able to use our platforms to get this kind of work done. I think that it produces some really good karma. But I've tried to talk about other stuff. Y'all don't want to talk about other stuff. Y'all want to talk about this. And as long as it don't get toxic and weird like that Jaguar Wright stuff started getting, we can stay on her neck. I'm quite enjoying it. Now, he talked about those 11 canceled meetings. Y'all heard him. And where is the Auditor General?
Good evening, Board of Trustees, residents, mayor, and the department heads. I'm here to express deep concerns about the township's lack of transparency relating to financial records. If there is no discrepancies in our finances, then why the resistance? Why not share the information to the residents? The mayor has recently reported in a recent interview that our deficit is $2 million rather than the $7 million. If that's true, where's the proof? Yet she has failed to give us the proof. The mayor also has made claims that the proof of financial information is on the Dolton's website, yet it is not. That is false. We don't need any more videos. We don't need anything else saying that what you're claiming to do for the village. We need accountability. We need information on the finances. Trustee Stan Brown. I find myself perplexed by your position on the Finance Committee. Your role suggests a focus on our village finances, yet discussions from you from this critical topic are notably absent. Where are the Finance Committee meetings? Why don't you speak up during these board meetings? Where are the financial reports? Surely you should have that information, right? Why don't we have it? I urge you to refocus on the financial health of our community and share with us your actions and plans for enhancing transparency. Trustee Holmes, I must ask, what do you believe your role to be? As a public servant, your role is to represent the residents' interests, yet your actions don't align with our concerns and our needs. As an activist, you should be driven to tackle injustices and push for significant changes in our township. I urge you to align your efforts more closely with our community's pressing needs. To the residents, continue to speak up, speak out, do not be afraid. We demand transparency, and that's what we should get. Thank you to the trustees for what you are doing, the rest of you all. Thank you for continuing to fight on our behalf, and we appreciate you. Thank you. Have a good evening.
All right. Is there anyone else?
Now, let me tell you how I know Tiffany Henyard be listening. She don't want to admit she be listening, but she be listening. Because this, as eloquent as should be expected, woman She's not an exceptional black woman. This is the standard. What just came before you and spoke, she is the standard. Okay? She is the bar. Tiffany Henyard is not the bar. This lady, who I still don't know her name, is the bar. Okay? She mentioned something. She said, we don't need no more videos. Tonight, there won't be a video. Tiffany Henyard mentions I might have one video or two, but she never shows them. Because I think she's figured out that she looks like a fool. And that just gives people more time to talk about her. In a bad way.
All right.
And so I have serious concerns about everybody in the room.
So while this person, before she begins to speak, let me just point us to the comments real quick. Because I'm still under suspicion. We call her Trina Downs. And I haven't heard her introduce herself. But the reason why over here at the Breakdown show, we, the Breakdown crew, call her Trina Downs is because we noticed that she be talking in the chat. And then when she gets up to speak, she stops. The person in the chat that is Trina Downs stops talking. And then when this person finishes talking, Trina Downs commences to speak it in the chat. I also noticed that in the meeting in June when the trustees, the lime green suit meeting, at the end, the trustees had adjourned the meeting early because Tiffany Henyard was being ridiculous. So they just shut the whole shit down like Mariah Carey did Nick Cannon on his own fucking show. That was cute. This person sounded like a person that sounded like her got up and was kissing the mayor's ass about getting shit done, but had been in the chat talking shit. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to know whose side she's on or if she's Trina Downs or not. But for the sake of conversation, for now, we call her Trina Downs.
We experienced the recall, and I FOIA'd the recall calls. I wasn't able to get the recall calls from either side. The taxpayers' money was spent on a recall, but we're not deserving of the bill. We can't know how much it is, right? That's non-transparency. You guys had T-shirts, buses, billboards, but we don't have a bill. How much was the bill? No one wants to say. Moving along, we have no meeting minutes. Since you were sworn in, Mayor Henyard, we have no meeting minutes. The clerk says it's Keith Freeman's fault. Keith Freeman, what say you? Why don't we have meeting minutes since the mayor's been sworn in? The clerk said it's because of you. Okay. Well, Kwame Raoul will find out because he did call you in September and you called me. So we need those meeting minutes. Also, there should be an ordinance in place. If there is not an ordinance in place on executive spending, no one should be able to spend how they want and then give the bill to the residents. If there is no ordinance in place, there needs to be an ordinance in place. That's all that was needed instead of that expensive recall bill that we never received. And so make sure there's an ordinance in place on spending in the village of Dolton. Also, the skate rink, the basketball court is across the street from a carcinogen pumping waste dump, Circon, water integration. That needs to go. Why are we sitting in a town that burns feces? Why is that going on? Jason, you were at the ribbon cutting. Stubbs was at the ribbon cutting. Ed Steve was at the ribbon cutting. Why are we in a town that burns dookie? That tells me that our leadership ain't right. And so, Chief Lacey, you know, it's really disappointing that she made you chief because you violate a lot of people's rights. You violated her rights when we were in the water department discussing my bill and you pulled right on up. You wanted to put Miss Stubbs out for clapping, right? Like you so good, but we seen you, the whole village. We saw you breaking somebody's property. We saw you. Yeah, in your team jersey. Then you wore it to an event. And so you should be very careful about how you treat the residents because you do violate our rights. We had a right to speak. We had.
Ma'am, your time is up.
Is it?
Your time is up. Yes,
Is
ma'am.
it?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have some seconds.
Ma'am,
Okay.
your
He
time is up.
interrupted. I have like 5
Ma'am.
more seconds.
Your time
All right,
is up.
yes.
I know it's okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So they are cutting people off early. That's been a suspicion that we've had over here for about a week now. They are cutting people off early. They are violating people's civil right to speak by shortening their time. Now, I want to just clarify a couple things. Kwame Raoul, who was mentioned here, I believe he is the state attorney or the attorney general. And he was the one who basically told Tiffany Henry she couldn't collect any more money from her charity and she had to take everything down. And she took the websites down, but she hasn't taken the advertisement videos down off of the Thornton or Dolton websites or YouTube pages. So she's still quite actively advertising the charity. And she was absolutely right when she said, now I don't agree that a spending ordinance would have stopped the need for a recall, because I don't think Tiffany here gives a fuck about one. But they do need to have an ordinance about, how much can be spent at a time in an ordinance. It needs to discuss, whether or not the mayor can go to certain levels of hotels or what kinds of hotels and, what kind of transportation can be used if the mayor wants a first class flight. He or she should pay the difference from an economy flight, certain things like that. Other townships and villages and cities and governments have those limits. Churches have those limits on their pastors. There's always some type of limit on how that money can be used, but Dolton has not had one. And that's how Tiffany learned the game. We've seen Lacey violate people's civil rights several times. Most of you, I'm sure, have already seen the video from Late Night Crew. And I think Burgundy Blue Commentary was reviewing the video this morning. Today is Sunday, March the 31st, about Lacey basically violating somebody's civil rights by putting a family out at the Easter egg hunt that Tiffany Henyard held for the taxpayers with their money and gave them that spoiled milk and eggs. He violated that lady's rights yesterday, and I hope she sues. I really do. And I always get caught off guard. I wasn't going to say nothing about this until I saw this last comment from Flying High Podcast that says Dookieville. I always get caught off guard whenever she says, why do we live in a town that's burning Dookie? It always throws me off.
All right. That concludes public comment. Thank you all for coming to the podium to speak. Next on the agenda is general announcements. Are there any general announcements?
We have an announcement.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, residents. This coming Saturday, March the 9th, will be Tea with the Trustees. It's at 14700 Evers. And Tea with the Trustees starts at 9:30. So
Thornton Township, Supervisor Henry and the Board of Trustees of Thornton Township is extending a tech savvy class. Also, Thornton Township food is, don't hesitate to come to the tech number 708, traveling away to township.
First and foremost, I'm Lacey. I'll probably address
Do we
I'd like to say
notice how much time Stan takes up during general announcements just reading off Tiffany Henyard's flyers? And if you saw the video that Long Island Audit posted, it was either today or yesterday, about his visit at the Thornton Township building, where his civil rights were violated, but then they ended up, the police ended up walking out. The South Highland police ended up walking out and leaving him alone. But you'll see there were eight flyers. 8 flyers that had her picture, her name all over them, like she was the godmother of the fucking township. Man. Do you notice how long he takes up for these announcements?
Thanks out to the Dolton Police Department. We may be small, but they got a good heart. And I'd like to send thanks out to them in the charge with first degree murder. That's it.
All right. Anyone else?
Now, this probably will be the last meeting that we ever see Andrew Holmes at. I doubt we're going to see him tomorrow. I doubt he's going to show his face. I think his mother is probably going to be ill for the rest of the fiscal year. We'll see, though.
No?
Okay,
Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. I'd like to just make an announcement about complete your taxes as of yet. Feel free for household income of 65. So if you miss the tax appeal,
General announcements. All right. Moving on. Next, we have mayor's report. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to the residents of Dolton for keeping me in your prayers. Thank you for loving on me, sending me uplifting messages. I do need that. As you can see, our village, our community, myself, we are under attack. It's a shame that people can come to meetings and just tell one-sided stories and not get the entire side of both stories. In the next week or two, you'll hear myself speak to anything anyone has spoken about me, anything anyone has put out there, because it's facts over fiction for me. So I will state facts, I will show receipts, and I will make sure that our community is back together as one, because always one band, one sound. I don't want people to get away from loving on each other, because there's so much hatred in the world that it amazes me how people can get together and come to a board meeting and just have hate in their heart and not love on each other, try to uplift one another. So my goal is to still continue to do that. What I ran for office for, I ran because I was and still am the people's mayor. I would not stop loving on you and providing a way for you. I wish that people would put facts out there, such as the money that we win and we got awarded. We don't have this coming down the pipeline now for our community. All the programs that we create, all the housing issues that's in our community that we are standing in the fight for. I also want people to know that we help pay your light bill, gas bill, water bill. We even help you borrow your loved ones. We even did a mortgage and rental assistance, which was really, really dope. A lot of people came out to get assistance. These are things that people don't tell you that we do. Mental health. You guys are really big on helping people get through whatever that issue is in their life at that moment, because people need help now. They don't need your help when you win or when you're successful. They need you when they're going through a hardship. And that's what I always have done. I'm going to continue to do. Lead my people, provide a way for them, and go get resources to bring back to community. Because right now, the black and brown communities are always last to get anything. And right now, today, our communities are first to get things that normally the other communities will get before us. We have been awarded the most in the state of Illinois, a 6.8 for our village of Dolton, and 9.2 for Thornton Township. The most out of any mayor, the most out of any supervisor. So when people talk all these things, it's all gossip. And I get it, because all y'all are here. People like run off of negativity or he say, she say stuff. I don't sit at tables that people talk about people. I sit at tables where we talk about uplifting, how we gonna build a community. And that's what I want my people to learn and grow into. Because right here, this moment, talking about other people not gonna get you anywhere. You would never grow by just trying to put dirt on somebody else. Now don't get me wrong, that dirt gonna help somebody else because they need dirt to grow themselves. But I just want people to know, like, stop with the mess. Because at the end of the day, we still gonna be a village, we still gonna be here when all the cameras leave, we're still gonna be a community, and we're still gonna take care of our neighbor, no matter what. But right now, it's nothing but a show. And it saddens my heart to just see that people focusing on just the minute things, the things where you gotta throw your hand, throw your rock and hide your hand. And that's what's going on in our village. And to my staff, I apologize for all the mess that the Board of Trustees have created as relates to people coming into our community and basically harassing you guys. I'm like, quiet down, guys. Quiet down. Quiet down. You have to listen. If you don't know, quiet down. You don't have to take. But I apologize for that, because a lot of that's going on, and that's the stuff that you guys don't see. It's television I'm speaking of. You one-sided. You don't hear one side. You don't hear anybody else's side with the negativity. And I'm here to tell you that they are having issues. Stop creating chaos in your village where we all lay out here with some of us. Because I don't know where they lay it, but where we lay our heads, that y'all gotta stop that. Because no matter what, like I said, when the cameras in the mess go away, we still have to live here. We still gonna see each other in the grocery store, in Walgreens. We still gonna see each other in passing. So that's why I keep trying to preach and teach that you have to love on each other. And to the youth, please love on them. I know you guys like turn your back on them because they make mistakes. They're human. We all human. We all make mistakes. But it's a matter of how you come out of it. As I always say, we gotta go through what we gotta go through. And the people that live here have to make sure you pass the baton and make sure that you love it on you too. Because you was once them, and now they need your help. They look to the older people for guidance. But yet the older people sometimes don't got it. And I'm trying to educate people, so you have to be willing to take the message in and then make a judgment. Nobody should judge anybody, but only judge when we got both sides of the story, not one side narratives, which is negative narratives in the media. So with that being said, I want to speak to Women's History Month. This month is Women's History Month, and I want to uplift women throughout the state of Illinois to keep pushing, because I know I'm going through what I'm going through, but there's a lot of women that's like me that's going through mess, where people think they can come in and strong arm them and tell them what to do, and don't think that they're not going to fight back. So I want them to know, keep going, don't give up, never, never, never give up, and keep pushing no matter what you do. And this is to my women, because I know how hard it is. It is a boys' club, and unfortunately they don't want us leading like we're doing now. I have two big powerful seats, and everybody thought they was going to be able to come and tell me what to do. They thought they was going to start this little smear campaign, and I wanted to fight back. I'm going to always fight for what's right, and I'm always stay the course, and I will be victorious when all the dust clears. You see, mark my words. So with that being said, I'm going to go into this veto message. The veto message is related to the secret squirrel means, yes, that the Board of Trustees have, and that's a meeting that's a violation of the Open Meeting Act. You cannot have a quorum without actually coming here. Your meetings are set here for Village Hall, but yeah, y'all go everywhere else to have this meeting and to talk about village business. The Board of Trustees, and I repeat, do not run the Village of Dolton. It's up to myself, the village administrator, and our administration. That's who run the day-to-day. That's who run the day-to-day in any other municipality, but people don't got the facts, so they don't know what to believe. You just listen to one side once again, and then get both other sides to know what's truth and what's not. So I'm gonna read this into order, just so you know. And yeah, I normally have videos, and today I might have two, but anybody want to see anything that's going on with myself, anything that's going on with the truth, with the facts, with the receipts, I will be posting on Tiffany Hilliard on the Move podcast. You can go to Spotify, Amazon, you go to any of those platforms to see what is going on, and I will drop the first one this Friday. So stay tuned, because I know everybody asking and been texting me about it, so I just want to put that out there so you know it is coming, so that our board meetings can be our board meetings, and we don't have to go back and forth, and we can actually get through the business, and then we can actually go home to our loved ones and then take care of the real business, because when they sleep, I'm still working no matter what. When y'all leave, we still gonna work, and it's gonna be just another story and another day. So This is the message related to February 22nd, 2024 special meeting, which is the secret squirrel meeting that the Board of Trustees had. Drink something first so I can get through it. Before I deliver my veto to the items approved by the board at their special meeting / secret squirrel meeting on February 22nd, 2024, I must let the public know that the actions of the board are illegal and void from the start. Technically, I do not believe I even have to veto these illegal actions because the board once again acted unconstitutionally and in complete disregard for the law. This board can't seem to get it right. The judges have told them, and I repeat, they told them several times, they lost every lawsuit. So again, if it's me, I win all the lawsuits. They haven't won one. So everything they accuse me of, we go to court, guys. That's why I say get both sides. We go to court, and I win. Myself, me, the village, because I represent the village. Let me go back to that part. The judges have told them that they can't take away the mayor's power or change the form of government. I continue to be shocked by what the trustees seemingly do. Not know what, well, let me see. I continue to be shocked by what the trustees seemingly do not know about municipal government and Bert Oderson's desire to confuse the residents of Dolton, causing chaos and leaving a trail of destruction and financial hardship in our community. I am ashamed of the continued behavior by Trustee Jason House, Trustee Tammy Brown, Brittany Norwood, and Kiana Belcher. I encourage every resident to take a stand for our community against their continued hatred. However, as the board will likely continue to ignore the law, I am vetoing all items passed under item 7 on the agenda. So that's my veto, and then we're going to give you a veto of the things they passed at their secret squirrel meeting. I just wanted to point out the things that goes on that you may not know. For instance, the Board of Trustees taking me off the bank account. I didn't even know that. For a whole year, I didn't have no access to any bank account to make any decisions in our village. It was all up to them. Little do you know, I put a correspondence out to the residents, and some of you guys read it. Some of you was thankful for me keeping it transparent because they didn't tell you that. But they illegally went into a bank, Trustee Jason House and Clerk Key, and took me off the bank. And that's how you know that everybody's in on it because no one called nobody here. This is $1 million account. $1 million account. No one called anybody to say, hey, did you know someone's in the bank trying to remove your name, your signature from the bank? Come on, guys. You got to call a spade. But they did do that. They lost. The judge said it was unconstitutional, illegal. All these things is in the transcript. So no one has to lie about anybody. But these are the things that my board members are doing, keeping up chaos. When we're supposed to work together and move the village forward. It's a shame that right when I got in office, I've been fighting with them, and I've still been doing the work for the residents. You need tree trim. You need sidewalks done. You need your streets repaved. You need any type of program. I'm still providing. So that's why I said, check facts. Why they creating chaos? They haven't did one thing for you, resident, not one. But any ordinance that they pass, anything that they choose to do, they literally put it on their secret squirrel meeting, and they do it because it's official to them. So I wanted to put that out there. And that's for the record, clerk. That is not right what's going on in our community, and I'm going to continue to stand for the residents of Dolton. So thank you so much for hearing me. Stay tuned again. Tiffany Hilliard on the Move podcast. You can check that out. It will be all facts, receipts, things you can utilize. You can repost because I know you like to repost things. And then to those people that don't understand how social media works, I am considered clickbait. Clickbait is when a person go and they make a narrative, a story, or something like that, and basically they put out different news, fake, negative, you name it. And basically people click it because it say Tiffany Hilliard. They make money off of clicks. I don't know if y'all know how they go, but that's how this game goes. So that's another thing of why things are moving so rapidly, because it's now a social media type of market, when before it was like newspapers or y'all live in that community in order to know what was going on. So that's the facts to what's going on, and I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you again for listening to me. Yeah, go ahead.
The mayor's official veto message is 5 pages, not including exhibits. So she didn't read it for the record, but is requesting that I present a copy to you and that you print it in the minutes verbatim as written. And the mayor's prefatory statement that she did read, clerk, if you could also print that for the minutes verbatim.
All right, next on the agenda is...
So let me just give a couple quick notes about this. I haven't seen one clickbait video that had Tiffany Hilliard's name in the title. Let me explain what clickbait is. Tiffany Hilliard said she is clickbait. No. A topic cannot be clickbait. Content is clickbait. For instance, if I make a video saying Tiffany Hilliard and Kiana Belcher got into a physical fight, and I put that in the title, and you open the video and see that they didn't get into a fight, that content and that title is clickbait. Okay? I could do that about anybody. It don't have to be Tiffany Hilliard. It could be Michael Jackson and Prince. Clickbait is the content. The videos that people have made about Tiffany Hilliard have been factual and actual, and videos you can refer back to. We have a whole catalog, of videos in the breakdown playlist with Tiffany Henyard's name in the title. Not one of those videos is clickbait. Not every video with her name needs to go in our playlist, but I have not seen one video where a person has had Tiffany Henyard's name in the title and the content didn't match up with the title. Because that's what clickbait is. The content, not the topic. Stupid. Not the people who believed it, but the Tiffany Henyard of it all is the stupid one. You see how people twist words and definitions and tell people things? She gonna explain to people who were intelligent enough to vote for her what clickbait is. Like they can't look that up themselves and figured it out. And unfortunately, some people did believe her this night.
Village Clerk's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I noticed that for the February 22nd.
Oh, that wasn't
February
all my
5th
notes.
minutes.
That was just the important one. Now, I'm wondering, she said this was $1 million account that she was removed from. It's interesting to me because she's admitting that she's had access to the account all this time when she said that she didn't. And I love how Trustee Belcher laughed when Tiffany Henyard was trying to read because she obviously can't. I mean, if you gonna misuse taxpayers' money, misuse it on some vocal training, some reading lessons, and a better stylist. It's funny to me that she keeps calling the trustees meetings illegal because they're not held at the village. But number one, she's locking them out of the village, literally. Number two, her inauguration was held at the same place where they're having their meetings. And that was a legal meeting. So if the trustees can't have their meetings there, that means her inauguration was null and void, right? And we heard her while we heard her in 2 times talk about all the money that she's brought into Dolton. The question everybody has is, where is it? Where is it? Where is the money? Now, she did not drop that podcast on the Friday that she said she would. All she did was drop some fake news about Andrew Holmes.
Said they need to be amended. If you can let me know what those amendments are, so I can make the adjustments, because I don't know what they are.
So the amendments are on the record.
You said they need to be amended.
So the agenda is Village Clerk's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I noticed that for the February 5th minutes, you said they need to be amended. If you can let me know what those amendments are, so I can make the adjustments, because I don't know what they are.
So the amendments are on the recording. So I don't know if you watched the recording,
I don't know what it is
wrote it.
specifically that you're saying.
The stuff that you wrote in the minutes for me, they're not accurate.
It's what I
on
got
the
off
mayor's
the
report.
recording. But if we could talk specifically, or you send me an email, I will take a look at it.
Yes, it's on the
I
recording.
need to know specifically what you're saying is incorrect.
Do y'all have the recording?
We
For the
don't
clerk?
play a recording now, but I just need to know specifically what those items are that you feel are incorrect, and I will make.
Okay, I'm asking right now. Do y'all have the recording for the clerk's part?
Because I record the meetings myself.
Right,
as
but on
well.
the recording, it says, you got different dollar amounts on there. That's not accurate. But
Okay,
when I
well,
went
you
back,
just let
I
me
watched
know
the
what they
tape.
are. I'll make the changes.
I know, but this what I'm saying. Every time we do this, you never make any type of change. And I've been telling you for years that you never write my portion of what I say. And then when you do write anything, it's not accurate. And then I go look at the tape and I'm like, okay, that's your job. You ran to be a clerk. That means to check the minutes. So then you don't write it in there. But everybody else got a whole paragraph, a whole book of whatever they said in the meeting. But mine, it was always referred to the mayor's office. But everybody that say something up here, you write anything they all say, anything. But me, you don't write nothing I say.
Mayor, you do an hour-long, sometimes 2-hour-long report. And what I simply asked you some time ago is if you could just give me a copy, just like you give me a copy of the vetoes. And I will make sure your stuff is attached to the minutes, just like department heads should give me a copy of their report. The only department that comply with that is the Public Works Department. They've been very on time with that. They have not missed a beat. This is how we did it before. I don't know why that stopped, but I'm just asking something simply. If they're reading off a report, what's wrong with them giving me a copy? If you're reading off a report, just like you just read this veto, what's wrong with giving me a copy?
I have no problem with giving you a copy.
I've asked for it for quite some time, and then I can take that and summarize it into the minutes. That's all I need.
Okay, but what I'm trying to make you understand from me is that everybody up here don't give you a report. No, listen to me. Let me get it out. Everybody up here have not given you a report. You write everybody's statement is what I'm saying.
They just
when you did my statement, you put that I said we bought in $2,000.
No,
and I did say it do. It said in the minutes.
You read that wrong, or maybe I just.
It's not. It's in the minutes.
We're not gonna go back and forth. We're gonna look at it.
Okay, but what I'm saying to you, Clark, no one's trying to go back and forth with you. I'm just trying to make it clear because every time we come, it's not clear, and you say you get it. I'm saying that in the minutes, I want my stuff to be written on the things I really say because you're the record keeper. So if somebody go for you the minutes, and then you wrote something that I didn't say or didn't do, then they're wrong, and they would think them are right. That's why I'm complaining about it.
Okay, and again, I asked you if you can give me a copy of what you're reading. I have no problem putting that
in
the
all right, I got it. But I guess you won't see what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Because at the end of the day, your job is to do the minutes, regardless of somebody give you a copy and making sure they accurate, no matter what. You're supposed to make sure they accurate.
That makes the most accurate sense is to get a copy. So moving on, I'm just going to go into communications since we cannot get the minutes approved today. And I just want to remind everyone that early voting has started today. So if anyone's ready, interested in voting for the upcoming election, it starts today. It ends on Monday, March 18th. And then the general election voting day is Tuesday, March 19th. So in case you are not aware, early voting has already begun. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Okay, and then last, Clerk, when could we get a copy of all the ordinances, resolutions, intergovernment agreements, all of that stuff?
Oh, I really need copies of the intergovernment.
What I'm asking, when can we get a copy of all those?
Copies of those too. First of all, you have to be specific. The clerk maintains the records of the village. So if there's something specifically you want, just like attorneys and everyone asks, they don't ask for everything. They ask for specific items. I am not to give you all of my records. I am the keeper of the records, okay?
You are, and that's not what I'm asking.
I'm still talking.
Go ahead.
Respect. So I'm the keeper of the records. If there's something specific you want, I have no problems turning it over. I have never refused to turn anything over. But to tell me to give all my files to you, that's incorrect. That's incorrect.
Okay.
That's all. I'm done with that.
All right, as long as you're done. All right. I'm asking for every single record that our village had. And when I'm asking for it, that don't mean you give me your originals. That means you make me a copy of them and you give me a copy of everything we're asking for. We've asked for ordinances, resolutions, intergovernment agreements, and you have not gave us anything. He had put it in email, meaning the village administrator has, and myself. We've asked, and you have not gave us anything. So what day can I come down and you make me copies of everything, and then I have what you have?
And just a point of reference, everything that you put on the agenda, I never get the original copy of.
Let's go back to what I'm asking you. What day can I come and get?
I get those? I'm not going to give you every record in my office because I'm the keeper of the records. I maintain the records of this village. Nobody else. I do. So if you want something specific, you can ask me for it, but you do not get all of my records. And I'm done with this conversation.
Okay, clerk. You do know that I'm gonna educate you again about the law and I'll educate the public. The mayor has the right to review any record in our village at any given time. For those that don't know how the rules work. So I'm asking again, the clerk, can I have the records, meaning a copy? You keep the original. I'm not asking for the original. I want a copy of what I'm supposed to check out that you're not allowing me to check out. So are you refusing me the opportunity to come in your office to review all the records, clerk? Are you refusing to allow me to do that, Clerk Key? Because we can go, I come down tomorrow at 9 a.m. But I want y'all to see that it's another side to all this. Y'all see the mess, whatever narrative they put out there. But you see that I don't even get things to do my job as it relates to an ordinance or resolution. Something so simple. You can just email it to me in all honesty. But I don't have it. And I'm asking her if she just went on mute, as you always see. And that's why nothing get done as it relates to them. And then we have to go and fight and go back and forth about, can you FOIA the records? Why would I FOIA something that I'm entitled to get as a mayor? As a mayor, that's my job, for those that don't know that. But okay, she ain't got nothing else to say. Moving on, village administrative report.
All right, let me just cover a couple of quick things here. As far as the village clerk's report, you saw that there were a couple different times when Tiffany Henry was stalling. Number one, she's stalling for those minutes to go into record. So she's stalling for the minutes to be approved by saying they need to be amended, when you and I know ain't nobody going to put into record all the bullshit she says. And she's never going to write a report because she can't. She doesn't send her own emails, so she's not going to send any specific emails about what she's looking for as far as the amendments or the records. She can't give anybody a copy of a Coke rant. I mean, it's literally, her mayor's report is a cokehead's rant, allegedly. And how do you really put that in a report? And does anybody notice that her mic is louder? And it never pops, it never goes out, it never malfunctions. But they're working on the same PA system. Now, Tiffany Henyard refuses, and I refuse to call her mayor until she puts mayor in the name of her janky ass podcast. But Tiffany Henyard refuses to pay $40,000 of taxpayers' money to have the village records codified. And so she doesn't have, she removed from herself the convenience of being able to pull any record at any time. And this is also another stall, because she knows she's under FBI investigation. So she wants to know what the FBI might have access to as well. And what Clerk Key did was absolutely correct. I wrote the note down right before she did it. I was like, you have to gray rock these people. Turn your mic off. Don't have no more conversation with this idiot. And the unfortunate thing is, if Tiffany Henyard does show up at that lady's office at 9 a.m. tomorrow, it's most likely going to be without makeup. And that ain't right. That ain't right at all. What's this dumbass conversation? What's that stupid ass conversation? And why is she rocking and swaying already? They only an hour in. She chewing on her bottom lip already.
Tastic. We'll go ahead and go. Come on, Ron. You come up next.
Good evening, Mayor, Trustees, Madam Clerk, Department Heads, and residents from the Village of Dolton.
Oh, Keith can't get the Wi-Fi back on. Keith done fucked up the Wi-Fi. Now he can't figure out how to get the shit back on with his dumb ass. That's what the fuck you get, stupid.
Just a couple items on my report this evening. The first item is we're going to...
And for the sake of time, we're going to speed through this. We know that there is a CBG grant application coming up. Actually, it's today. Today is the application deadline for the CBG grant, but it does have to include a village audit, and there is not one. So let's see if that application is submitted. We'll see by tomorrow if that application was submitted. But for the sake of your time and the little bit of respect I have left for Ron, we're going to fast forward through his report. Because his team is getting paid a lot of money to do nothing in the village of Dolton.
Can we do a motion to approve his item?
To approve item D on the agenda. Sure.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mayor, Madam Clerk, Trustees. I'd like to discuss today the IMRF expenditures, as well as the police and fire, the contract negotiations between our unions. As discussed last month, IMRF employer contribution lines are higher across all department funds because IMRF employer contribution rates has increased from less than 1% to over 7%. We are anticipating another increase in IMRF rate in 2025. The telephone expenditure accounts with the general administration has increased compared to the prior year because the average monthly AT&T bill is 70 to 80 thousand more than it was compared to December of 2023. General administration and other professional services and contractual services are reflected plus $340,000. That's a $47,000 increase compared to the prior year. Other professional services decreased because in fiscal year 2023 there was a significantly more engineering work performed by Robinson Engineering, and the village performed the LED project. The village also completed negotiations with the police patrol, police lieutenants, and the sergeants, and the AFSCME unions. The remaining unions out of contract are the police records clerk and the fire department. The village will need to be cognizant of the various requests of the unions and have made a plan to find out how to fund those contract agreements because with each contract signed, overall payroll will increase with each compounding contract year. If there aren't any questions, that'll end my report, Mayor.
All right, next is Mayor.
He asked if there was any questions. I got a question.
Okay.
In reference to the contracts that you're saying because of the increase, wasn't those increases included in the budget?
The budget we submitted was changed by the trustees, so you would have to ask the trustee who crafted the new budget.
Okay, but the original budget that you created, was those funds included in the budget?
Yes, they were.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next is police. Chief.
Let me just say a couple quick things, or just actually one quick thing. Keith Freeman mentioned that there was an $80 increase, $80,000 increase for the phone plans, but he never said why. And they don't return nobody's phone calls, but you see him sitting there with a MacBook Pro. You see they all have iPads. That's because they probably have a line of credit with AT&T. And that's where that $80,000 increase came from. Wow, they just spending money.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, the board of trustees. The Dolton Police Department responded to 2,671 calls for the month of January. They enforced 542 parking citations. They wrote 334 state tickets, 5,847 red light citations. Overall major crimes are down, car thefts are down, and I'd like to thank the village of Dolton for listening when it came down to leaving their vehicles running, when it came down to the winter, because that dramatically helped. So there are some things that I would like to touch on, Madam Mayor, if I can. So that way everybody has a clear understanding when it comes down to these nightclubs and what actually was going on with the nightclubs. I'm glad that the owner of Ricky's is still here, because in my hand, I have all the calls that the Dolton Police Department responded to. Also, where we had to call outside agencies, where there were major fights, shootings, and guess what, people, well, okay, I understand. Major fights, shootings, and incidents at your location. You don't have to believe me. You can FOIA it to where there's also body cam footage. Okay, so in short, the mayor had nothing to do with closing down the club. It was the housing department, the police department, to where we enforced it because of the violations to where you did not have your license. So yes, your business was closed down for the activity that was going on in your club. Now, I have also invited you to come and see me, to whereas we can correct some of the issues with your club. You failed to show up. You had your hearings. It wasn't just something that we did. You had your hearings. You missed your hearings. The last hearing that we had, you didn't show up. So yes, sir, your club was shut down. I also have the U-Haul location in a residence in Dolton, Know about that U-Haul place on 142nd, next to the expressway. To whereas what he was doing, he did not have a license. But what he was hosting was a strip club joint. All on paperwork, all on video, okay? So this is nothing that's being made up. This is nothing that you can't look up yourself. Also with Pablo's, that business was shut down because of the incidents that happened there, where the shootings, to where they had the fights, to where we had to call outside agencies, okay? To where even the Burger King across the street got shot up. So this is nothing that's being made up. People can say what they want, but one thing I'm going to do is enforce the law. It's just that simple. And you know why? Because the village of Dolton deserves better than what they've been getting. When it comes down to the repossessed cars, since Ed Stevens, I don't know if you're still here, Trustee House, when that happened, and I brought that up, that everything was fine. What wasn't brought up was the mayor wasn't on the bank account. It was an automatic deduction once a year. I have no idea who makes an arrangement for an automatic deduction for a car payment once a year, but it was done before the mayor's tenure. And what ended up happening when the mayor was taken off the bank account, they conveniently took off the payment for the car. Now, you don't have to believe me, okay? You can Google this, you can FOIA it, and guess what? It'll prove exactly what I'm saying, but that's okay. So when it's said that the cars were being repossessed, the cars were nowhere near being repossessed. They're not in the repossessed business. Any car dealer is in the getting paid business. That's what they want. They want their money. But since we didn't know about what had happened, since we were not informed what had happened, Trustee House, then what ended up happening was, guess what? That letter came out with your name on it and Clerk Key's name on it. When we were made aware of it, it was immediately taken care of. So the Dolton Police Department was never in jeopardy of their cars being repossessed. And again, you don't have to believe me. You can FOIA it. So if you're gonna do something, say it right. Say the facts. But that's okay too. The other thing was the $1 million that was taken out of the budget with that meeting that was illegal over at the Park District. Okay, I'm bringing it up again. Yes, I am. You know why? Because just like was brought up in reference to salaries for my officers who go to make sure the citizens of Dolton are safe, who go to these shots fired calls, go to these domestics, they're entitled to be paid properly. But because it was taken out of the budget, now it has to be figured out how we're going to do it. But guess what? We always survive. We do, because we have a mayor that makes sure we survive. Now, regardless as to whether you want to believe it or not, you don't have to believe it, because for those of you that were at that meeting, you know exactly what they approved and they didn't approve. So this is not something that's just being said. But the bottom line to the whole thing is that the money that was taken out, and you're talking about defunding the police, I think $1 million taken from the police is definitely being defunded. And if you're proud of that, shame on you. But the bottom line to the whole thing is my officers do their job. And everything that they do professionally. And that's one of the reasons why I'm glad that I am where I am, because guess what? They can get the service that they need and the backup that they need that this administration is giving you. Because guess what? Right now what's going on is politics. It is what it is. Right now what's going on is we are the community policing meeting, which will be tomorrow at 6:30. Come and voice your opinions about your neighborhood. You will see us in the area as far as walking, talking to the residents and seeing what's going on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody in this room has seen my officers out there on the street, especially on Sibley. That was one of the big deals. Sibley Boulevard. I'm pretty sure if you ain't got caught by them, I'm not saying you should, but if you ain't got caught by them, slow down, because I've instructed them to enforce the law. We also are initiating a new drone program. And with this, anybody that can understand a drone program, that's when a drone is flying up in the air, that thing is flying up in the air. And I have 2 officers that I have sent to school. They have their FAA licenses so they can fly those drones. We will also have a drone car. And what this does is it keeps the officer from running into the weeds. It keeps the officer from going to places that drone can pick up with thermal. And all of that is being paid through asset forfeiture funds, state and federal. So it's not coming out the general fund. Just like when we did the K-9 unit, trustees tried to pull the check that paid for the K-9 unit, and it was asset forfeiture funds. Who does that? That's okay, because we have a K-9, and we have a traffic unit, and now we have a drone unit, and there are going to be some more things out there that are good that you're going to see. So, bottom line to the whole thing is for now, trustees, if you're really for the police department, then be for the police department. If you're really for the residents, then be for the residents. Don't do it.
Okay, you're out of order.
Well,
You're out of order.
So, ma'am, guess what? For actually what's going on right now, okay? We're going on what's right now. We have enough officers right now, and we are hiring more officers.
All right, you out of order, ma'am. You out of order. All right, finish your report.
Okay. So to end my report, ma'am, with the trustees, if you're going to tell it right, not just what you want to tell, and back the Dolton Police Department. That's all I'm asking. That is my.
May I be recognized, Mayor?
Okay, well, we're gonna continue with our report.
So can I?
No, you cannot. No, you cannot. We're gonna continue with our report. Okay, next we have fire. Chief McCain. Now here's our deputy chief for the fire department.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
Trustees, Madam Clerk, village residents. Dalton Fire Department to date has totally responded to 9.
Let me make a mention of one important thing, because I got a whole page of notes for Lacey, but I'm only going to say what's most important. To date, we have never seen what was inside those envelopes, and you can tell by those envelopes they were all packed together. They've only been packed once. They've never been opened. Those documents have not gone in and out of those envelopes. That is not a working envelope. Those envelopes were all packed together today. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to let him live on the other whole page worth of bullshit for the sake of time.
153 emergency calls. At least 15 calls per day. So we're actually pretty busy over there at the firehouse.
This is the deputy chief. He, at this moment, is a non-factor in a good way. So, let's continue.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, all. Public Works Productivity Report for February 2024. The Public Works Department completed the repair of 5 water shutoffs, 7 water main breaks, 7 emergency water shutoffs, 2 sewers repaired, 20 locations for potholes filled, 3 alleys cleaned, 2 vacant properties cleaned, and 32 jobs to the Public Works Department, 8 jobs to the Police Department, and 1 job to the Fire Department. Please be on the lookout for the street sweepers as we move into warmer months. The street sweeping signs will go out a week ahead of time to give you time to make arrangements if you have a vehicle outside of your house. But please be on the lookout for the street sweeping as we move into spring. And also, if you notice water coming from the ground or from a vacant house during the hours of 7 a.m. and 3:30, please call the Public Works Department at 708-201-3280. And if it is after hours, please contact our dispatch number at 708-201-3240, and we will deal with the water leak. Thank you, Mayor. That concludes my report.
All right. Thank you. Next is water. Juanita.
Let me give you something real quick. So I saw, shout outs to Burgundy Blue Commentary, who does the drive-throughs of Dolton. She rode up near a street sweeper, I believe last Monday when she was in Dolton. And, you know, it's been a while since I've seen a street sweeper. I don't know why, but it has. And it took me back, you know. When I came back from China, I actually got Reiki energy therapy. So I was able to process a lot of the trauma that I experienced in that country. There was a memory that came back to me when I saw those street sweepers, because when I lived in China, the street sweepers had an interesting dual task. Number one, it was really weird because they did clean the streets, but there also were human beings who cleaned the streets as well. So I didn't understand why there were both of them. The street sweepers in China played small world. you would hear them once or twice a day playing do 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 do. I thought at first it was the ice cream truck. And it took me years, literally, to find out that these were street sweepers. Well, the weird thing about these street sweepers was they had this, the top of them had this smoke or gas or spray. I'm going to call it, from what I remember, the visual of it, it was more like a spray that would come out. And when I moved to Chongqing, I finally asked someone, what is that spray that's coming out of these street sweeping trucks? And I was told that the spray was supposed to be something that we were supposed to inhale, and it was supposed to make our bodies stronger against the gases in the air that came from the factories. Do 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 do.
Good evening, Mayor, Board, citizens. The water department is working with residents.
Oh, and I'm wondering, sorry, Juanita, I'll get to you in a minute. Why didn't Stacy report how many trees were cut or trimmed? How many lawns were cut or trimmed? I mean, those are big expenses that are facing the village of Dolton right now. You got one lawn care company asking for $10,000 for lawns. And right now there's like 3 or 4 lawn care companies. I think the last number I heard was 6. There's 3 tree cutting services. One of them demanding $450,000 for a street deal between the mayor and the company man, who is yet to be named, but I believe is a plug. How come in this climate, Stacy is not reporting how many trees were cut in the last month? How many lawns were done by the several lawn care companies? How come none of that is ever on video either?
On their water payment arrangements. Also, the water department is open every Monday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. If you have any complaints about your water bill, you can reach me at 708-201-2977. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Next.
Now, Juanita Darden, who is the village director of water, seems very innocent, right? Because she's got this real low value look with her glasses and her bad wig and not wearing makeup or using high quality skincare. Like, you can tell she don't put a whole lot of energy into herself. So that makes her appear to be very innocent, because she isn't doing things like getting her hair done or getting her makeup done or getting fresh clothing. And you don't see her well dressed like some of the other people in the administration. But please believe her hands are guilty too, and I'm going to tell you why. Maisha Williams was the former water director of the village of Dolton. And she was eventually fired by Tiffany Hinyard because she refused to hold off permits for places that should have them. She was the only person who could actually process those permits and those sorts of things, and she was removed from that position because Tiffany Hinyard didn't want her giving permits to places that actually deserved them, so that she could control who was in her town. Because I'm sure that's how she saw it. So now, since Juanita Darden is now in this position and has been for quite some time, wouldn't it be safe to believe that she's playing the minister's game? She's playing the mayor's game the way the mayor wants to play it, and she's not pushing back? Wouldn't it be... Oh, I see Rodriguez, Ricardo Rodriguez in the chat. Okay, yeah, I was on vacation at that time. Wouldn't it be safe to believe that Mayor Tiffany Hinyard and Juanita Darden have an agreement on who gets permits and who doesn't? Because inside that position as the water director, that's the only person in the whole village who can give out those permits. And the mayor wants to be in control over who gets those permits. So yeah, Juanita Darden, we see you too.
Housing, Building and Permits, William Moore.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening to our board, to our directors and managers, and to our citizens that are here. Madam, if I could, I know it was said that, we're kind of cronies for you. It is an absolutely honor to work on your leadership. With your passion and your compassion for the people, you work tirelessly. So I just appreciate you with the vision that you have for the housing and the business licensing department. What people don't know when we came in, you never mentioned once that the administration prior was in shambles. What you said to me was, fix it.
Oh, so the business license has been moved over to housing. And William Moore is the one putting up the red tape now. He's playing the game. I'm sure Juanita Darden is somewhere in there, a part of it. I can tell by the way she looks at him that they work very closely together. I'm not saying they do any shady business as far as sexual shit. I'm just saying the way she looks at that William Moore, the way Juanita Darden looks at William Moore, lets me know they work together a lot. She, for some reason, admires him. But they don't have a lot of pickings in Dolton from what I see. So, anyway, so he's one of the ones that's blocking the Class 8 business licenses. So, Mr. Owner of Rinky's, y'all, when y'all are ready to do some spell work about your business permits, this little ugly-headed one, this is probably one you want to make sure you put in a jar. Okay?
Get it done. So I appreciate you not making any excuses. We're going to continue to work. I want to say to our residents, any of the residents that are here, that has called the housing department, the business license department, we work tirelessly to service you. We have our debriefs every week, and we tell our team we're here to service our residents. We will not get caught up in the political fight, but we're here to service you because you, as a resident, deserve better. So, Ben, I appreciate you with your vision, your leadership, and your passion, your compassion. We're going to have the vision, and the voice in the room is going to be louder than the voices outside. So, thank you. So, I'll be giving my housing report and my permits report for the month of February. I'll give a grand total, and I just highlight a few of the items that we collected. For the housing department, my report, we totaled $49,520. We collected 18 rental license fees that totaled $3,650. 47 as-is inspection fees. We collected $12,070. 16 escrow checks deposited $12,000. 30 housing tickets at $20,670. Thank you, Kim, and your team. And I'll give my building and permits report. We have a grand total of $45,645. We have 54 building permits at $30,770. 21 contractors licensed at $7,000. 23 plumbing permits that total $5,050. Grand total combined for both departments is $95,165. Mayor, at this time is complete my report. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Next, we have code enforcement. Kim?
How is that mic so fucking loud? But Allison Key couldn't get a word in edgewise. William Moore said something while I had him in 1.75 speed. He said the voices in the room are going to be louder than the voices outside. Well, the voices in the room are the administration. And the voices outside are the trustees and the people of Dolton. So what he is essentially saying, I don't know where he got that from. That sounds like a quote from some Christian football movie that we found out later was an exploitation of a black man. What he's essentially saying is the administration's going to continue to choose to be so arrogant and so evil that they will continue to drown out the voices of reason from the trustees and the people. Here go Kim.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for allowing me to speak. Code enforcement. My department, we conducted 144 inspections for the month of February. We conducted 69 housing complaints, 5 animal rescues, and 155 citations totaling $29,500. I just want to say to the trustees, I don't know what money was taken from my budget, but animal control is very much needed here in the village. And we're working with a skeleton crew, and the people need to be trained for that, and there's no money for that. And it's so unfortunate that the residents of Dolton will suffer because we got a lot of stray dogs that's running around and we have nobody to get them. We really do. And it's sad. Also, I just wanted to say that, Madam Mayor, sometimes the best man for a job is a woman. Keep your head up. You know, it saddens me that I have to sit here and we can't work together for the greater good of the community. Let's just get something done for the people. Okay, you don't like the mayor, you don't like what she did. Y'all say the feds are coming. Let the feds do their job. Let the feds do their job. Now, once the feds come and they don't find anything, are you guys going to be willing to apologize to this lady? Because everybody know the price of everything that's happened, but do anybody know the cost that she paid to do it? Now, I really don't know anybody here personally, and I didn't do no favors to get no job or anything like that, but I come to this job every day and I work hard, and I got a bunch of hardworking employees, and it's sad that the news cameras and the media come into Village Hall and create a hostile work environment where people ducking and hiding because they don't want to be put on camera about something we have no idea or nothing to do with. It's sad that we have to suffer as the employees here of the village.
Y'all out of order. Quiet, please. Quiet. Let her finish her
And
report.
as far as the businesses goes that didn't get business license, and how many times were you warned about the garbage and the trash that was never picked up? Garbage and beer bottles everywhere, over everything, every day. Other businesses are saying, hey, we don't have any parking spaces for our patrons to come into our business because what once was a gaming cafe has turned into a full-fledged lounge. And people come here into our town, and evidently nobody's read the ordinance because the ordinance says you have to be a resident to be a business owner in Dolton. So nobody's read that. Now, I live here and I'm a resident here. I'm a taxpayer citizen here. I have a passion for what I do, but it's hard to do a job when everybody's just out to get you for no reason. Targeting. I do a great job, but I'm targeted, I guess, because you say I'm the mayor's pick. Well, she got a good pick. She got a great pick. And if all the stuff y'all say I do on top of me doing a great job, then you probably find you a Kim. I just want us to get along for the greater good of the community. And if you guys don't like what the mayor do, at least respect her and give her opportunity to run her term. And like she say, beat her at the poll.
That part.
She's been fighting an uphill battle since 3 weeks of being into the office.
Right.
An uphill battle. 3 weeks of being in the office, you guys did a recall on this lake. What was the recall about? How much did the recall cost? And when she inherited this town, I believe we was in debt $6 million to the city of Chicago for water.
A lie.
For water. Now, everybody want to say we didn't know the city of Chicago for water?
It's true.
So if we're in a $7 million deficit now, how much of that deficit came from the water bill that was carried over from the last administration?
Somebody call her.
She didn't get this position without any deficit.
Somebody in the comments call her big back.
It was money owed to everybody when she inherited the office. Okay, you don't like her. You don't like what she's doing, but you should at least respect the person that was voted in to be our mayor. And until somebody show me where she's did something wrong or the feds show up to get her, then we're going to continue to do a great job for the village of Dolton. And that ends my report.
Yep. Thank you, Kim. Very well said. Next.
She said that was very well said. Her standards are very low for what is well said. I'm not going to eat Kim alive because I got a half a page of notes for her too. All I'm going to say is this. How come everybody that supports Tiffany Henyard got that Tokyo Tony mouth? You know, that black ring around their mouth. It's a consistent thing. Tiffany got it. Kim got it. Tangenique got it. Stacy got it. Kim got it. Lacey got it. They all got that black ring around their mouth like they've been doing crack. Smoking out of the same bong or something. Shit.
It's corporate bills. Trustee Stan Brown.
Well, we gonna end this here. We gonna pick up at corporate bills when we reconvene. For the sake of the speed of this video uploading, I am going to cut this video so it can go ahead and upload while I work on the next one, and I'll wrap up the meeting in the next video. So for now, that's all I got. Ain't got no more. Ain't got no. Release it. There you go.